What is wrong with you, Ruth? What the heck was all that for? Why did you come out of nowhere and spill red wine all over me? And I had just bought this brand new dress for the wedding today. Shut up! You are useless to us. You happen to be an eyesore to me, so I had no choice but to pour my wine on you. And you shouldn't even be here in the first place. Huh? But I did just as you asked and brought the things you wanted, right? You told me right in the middle of the wedding that you wanted me to go out and get some cigarettes, and so I did. And I only just got back from the nearest gas station I could find. Well, you came back way too soon. I was hoping you would be gone for a bit longer. What are you talking about? You are always getting on me about hurrying up and getting what you ask for. And also, today is the day of the very important CEO's wedding. I thought it would be wrong of me to be away from my seat for too long, so I made sure to go as quickly as I could to get you those cigarettes. And why do you think I had to leave the wedding for a little bit? I was trying to make sure there'd be one less rival during the bouquet toss. But now that you're already back, there was no point in me sending you out at all. Huh? For the bouquet toss? Wait, you're telling me you're trying to catch the bouquet today? Of course I am! This year I'll be turning 34 years old. And so before I turn into a lonely woman, I have to make sure that I find myself a man to marry. So that's why today I'm making sure that I'll be the one to catch that bouquet. And it's not going to be just any old bouquet, but one being tossed by the CEO's wife herself. So grabbing that will definitely bring me the luck to find the man of my dreams this year. And so it's for that reason you decided to get wine all over my new dress? Well, this is a very important moment in my life. This is the wedding of my CEO, and so everything that happens today is huge for me. And not only are all the employees from the company here, but so are all of the company's customers and such. Even the younger CEOs from other companies that I'm aiming at getting lucky with. So I have to make sure that I show off to all of them by catching that bouquet right in front of their very eyes. So that's what you want, huh? The main guy I'm looking at is the young CEO of the company Green Life that we just started doing business with. Last time when I first saw him come into the offices, my heart started racing for him. I just knew that I had to see what it'd be like to be married to him. Huh? Marry? So that's why today, once I've caught that bouquet, I'll get far closer to him. I'm sure he'll see it all happen, and then I'll look over at him and start my plan of talking to him. As long as I can get him to notice and talk to me, then he'll be all mine. And since I'm a strong adult woman, a younger man like him would love to become married to me. And so that's the whole point of you trying to take out the competition? But I'm sorry to say, you tossing wine all over me is not something that I'll let you get away with. If you really wanted me to be out of the bouquet toss, you should have just come and talked to me about it face to face like a real adult. Shut up, you useless woman! Ever since this wedding had started, I could tell just how much of a problem you'd become for me. Even though you are lower than me in the company, you looked around like you were better. But I'm not going to let you think that you can have that young CEO instead of me. Huh? Ever since the start of this wedding, that young man has been watching me a lot. At first, I thought he was starting to become interested in me, but then I got the feeling that he was looking at you instead. Is that so? I guess I never really noticed him looking at me, ever. Well, that's because you're still young and naive. Not only can you never get anything you're asked to do done right, but even when asked to go out and buy me some cigarettes, you did it too quickly. If you happen to grab the attention of my young man from me again, I'm going to reduce your pay. What? There is no way you could get away with something like that. And I'm telling you that I'm not trying to get with that man. Then, if you want me to trust you, go ahead and leave this wedding. Especially now that you're all covered in red wine, there's no point in you sticking around and ruining the vibe of this wedding. A useless girl like you needs to go home. Having a disgusting subordinate like you head home is not a problem at all for the rest of us. You better not mean any of that, you old hag. Huh? Whoops. I accidentally happened to use a not-so-nice word to describe you there. But even using that word hasn't subsided any of my anger. I suppose I really am at my limit with you then. I can see that recently you've been a bit rude with how you've gone about things around me. But to think that on a day as important as this you'd stoop so low? I can't believe you think you have the right to toss me out of my own dad's wedding. Huh? Your own dad? Today is the wedding of the CEO of the company I work for. But that also means that today is the day of my dad's wedding. I had been so looking forward to this day and everything. But now you've gone and ruined that for me. Huh? Wait just a second. What do you mean by your dad's wedding? Are you actually the daughter of this company's CEO? Yes, I am his actual daughter. When I was born, my mom ended up passing away during the birth. And ever since then, my dad was a single father, making sure to do anything he could to raise me well. I'm sure that having to run a huge company while caring for me was a tough task for him to accomplish. But thankfully, after all of that, he has finally come around to finding another woman to marry. And as his only child, I was looking forward to being able to celebrate that for him. But because of you, Ruth, everything is ruined. You're lying, right? I never heard from anyone that you were the CEO's daughter. Well, my dad told a lot of the top-level people to never say anything about it and just let me do my job like everyone else. After all, being known as the daughter of the CEO would have created a lot of unnecessary stress. So from a young age, it was made sure that I was raised with the best education. But I made sure that all I wanted was a job working here, and to be treated the same as everyone else for the time being. Are you serious then? So I please ask that even though you know about me being his daughter now, that you keep it a secret from everyone else. If you can do that for me, then I'll keep you spilling wine all over me a secret between us. Wait, really? Don't get the wrong idea about this, okay? This is all to make sure that my dad's wedding is not ruined today. If everyone had to learn that the daughter of the CEO had wine intentionally spilled all over her, it would make this one of the worst days of my dad's life. All I have to do is get myself into a new dress. Now, I'm going to get myself a new dress to change into, and since that will take me some time, I won't be able to take part in the bouquet toss. So go on ahead and try with all your might to grab that bouquet. Hey, Luna. If you have the time, what do you think about getting lunch together today? I actually have a restaurant that I'd really like to go and eat at. Why are you asking me that out of nowhere? You had never once invited me out to lunch before. And where did calling me a useless subordinate go? Oh, come on now. Since when did I ever call you a useless subordinate, Luna? I would never call someone as important as my coworker something like that. Huh? Well, once you've finished up whatever work you have this morning, give me a call or text. I'll do my best to match my timing with you and we can both go out to eat. But I wonder if the restaurant that I want to go to will be okay. It's going to be one of those general lunch places that everyone goes to for lunch during work, so that doesn't seem fit for the CEO's daughter. I really want to know what's going on here. If you're trying to get on my good side now, you're too late. Just because of that wedding, that doesn't mean everything you did to me in the past is just gone and disappeared. What? Oh, I'm not trying to get on your good side. I just want you and I to have a little time together since I'm your boss. Well then, if that's the case, I'd rather us not worry about any of that. And anyway, I'm already eating my lunch as we speak. Huh? Oh, is that right? Then I guess I'll take my lunch now and come see you. Can you tell me where you're eating right now? No, thank you. I don't want you here. Well, if you're going to be that cold, I'll tell you the truth. I actually have something I'd like to talk with you about. I have a small problem going on, and leaving it as is will make it hard for me to focus on my work. And so I'd like to talk to a splendid subordinate like you about everything that's bothering me. You have a problem? If I'm not able to do my best with my work here by focusing on my tasks at hand, then this company could run into some problems as well, right? And that would lead to your daddy becoming very sad by the state of his company. As the daughter of the CEO and being my subordinate, I'd like for you to listen to me. Well, if that's all you want, then tell me right now. Because I am not interested in having lunch together with you. Come on, you're being too stubborn, Luna. I'm just asking for you to hear me out about a couple of things. But if you say you'll listen right now, I guess that'll do. What I want to ask from you is that you become my Cupid to help me with my love. Huh? And what does that mean? I'd like for you to help me become even closer with the young CEO of Green Life. I ended up never catching that bouquet at the wedding last week. And so I never had a chance to get close to him then. But if it were to happen that the daughter of this company's CEO became a friend of mine, then I might have a chance. So, to make sure that him and I can become a couple, come and help me. At that wedding for your dad last week, him and that young CEO seemed to get along with one another really well. So there's no way, as his daughter, you can't help me get closer to that guy. So I'd like to ask that, using your influence, you help introduce me to a man like him. And in that way, you'll be helping me get married to him. I will not help you in any way with that. What? If you had some issue related to work, I wouldn't mind helping, but I have no interest in your private life. You are free to be upset about whatever it is that happens at home, but when you are in the office, you should be focused on your work at hand. Hey, hold on, Luna. What do you think you're doing saying no to your boss's request? With what you had just been asking from me, there was no relation to us being boss and subordinate. Huh? You stop right there. I am asking for your hand in all of this, so don't think you can talk back to me. I don't care that you are the CEO's daughter. You cannot speak to me that way. I'm not acting this way because I'm his daughter, though. You are. You are acting like a stuck-up jerk right now because of your status. Listen, even if you are the daughter of the man that runs this company, you are still my subordinate and I can ask what I want from you. And I'm sure you understand that you must always do what your boss asks from you. If you don't want me to go back to the days of me calling you useless, then you'd better listen to me. I want you to use your influence as the CEO's daughter to make sure that I meet the love of my life and marry him.
Even if she were to show you to me, I'd never go out with someone like you.
Huh?
I wonder who is really abusing their status right now. You're the one using your position as boss to ask your subordinate to help you with a personal issue outside the company. As her older brother, I will not let you keep doing this to Luna.
Oh, older brother, huh? You're Luna's older brother, then? In other words, you're the son of the CEO, then? But Luna said she was an only child.
I am also the CEO of Green Life, Jackson. Thank you so much for attending my father's wedding last week. And I also want to thank you for looking after my sister as she began working within that company.
What? So you're the young CEO from Green Life?
And for whatever reason, I can see that you are really interested in me. But I'm sorry, I will never be going out with you in any way.
Huh?
I'm not really fond of people that call my sister a useless subordinate, as well as doing other unjust things as she's trying to get her work done.
Wait a minute, Jackson. I think you misunderstood. That was just me talking to her on a more personal level. To me, Luna is a very important subordinate, and so I had to keep her in line.
Huh. So you spoke to her like that on a personal level then?
Also, you and I have never had the chance to talk to one another in person yet, have we? So please don't say you're not fond of me until you see who I really am. I'm sure that if you and I went out to eat together, you'd learn to take back what you said.
You have a lot of confidence in yourself, don't you?
I've been told a lot that I'm a really good-looking woman for being in my 30s. And so I'm sure that someone as young and fit as you would fall in love with me as well. And also, during your dad's wedding last week, you were looking at me over and over again, right? I know that you felt a little something for me back then, didn't you?
Back then, I was not looking at you all those times. I was just looking at my younger sister all those times. So don't think I had any feelings for you back then.
Huh?
I happen to talk with my sister about her job quite a lot. She always comes to me asking for help with things like the relationship she has with you. Always telling me things aren't going well. And about you calling her useless, that you gave her crappy jobs to work on. And when she would help you finish up a project, you would end up blaming her for any mistakes that there might have been. You really do check out as a type of woman with that toxic attitude.
That all never happened between us. I believe that maybe Luna is just a little confused about things here. I'm not the kind of boss to bully any of my subordinates like that, Jackson.
Well, if that happens to be the case, I'd like for you to stop thinking about dating me and to never bother my sister with anything besides work ever again. And when it comes to the work you give her, make sure it's the work she's supposed to do and nothing else. Now I'll be going. I just finished up having a great lunch with Luna and have to get back to business myself.
Wait, what have you done? Now it looks like that young man hates me. And why did you have to tell him about all the relationship we had in the past? I didn't do anything wrong, though. I just happened to ask for his advice when dealing with you. And it's the truth that you always called me useless and would always get upset with me for mistakes I made doing your own job. Shut up already. You're still my subordinate and you have no right talking back to me like that. All right? Go and talk to him about how you messed up and lied about what you said about me. Tell him that I'm an amazing boss and woman so that he'll start to like me again. If you don't do that, then I'll have you fired. Huh? Fire me? It doesn't matter if you're the daughter of the CEO or not. After all, nobody else knows that about you anyway. And so when you're someone that everyone couldn't care less about, being fired is not a big deal. And if you're so upset about the way I've been treating you, allow me to end it all for you. I have to ask, how many people have you fired already for not doing as you liked? I'm sorry, Ruth, but you're not going to be able to get away with that anymore. Huh? Oh. I've already heard about this stuff from some other employees. About how anyone that works under you always either gets fired or quits within a couple months of being your subordinate. But with the company becoming more interested in what's going on with your department, your best bet is to run. What are you even talking about? Don't act as though I have some sort of pleasure in firing those that work for me. But that could be just the case, right? You always try and force people to make mistakes and then criticize the hell out of them for it. And so when you've had enough picking on them, you end up firing them and moving on to the next victim, right? And if you try and dig your way out of this one, I've made sure to collect all the evidence I need. What evidence? When talking further with some of those other co-workers and employees, they made sure to tell me everything about what's been going on with you. But I am not going to forgive you for being compliant within my dad's company. Hence the reason I always put up with the way you called me names and forced me into tough positions. And after doing that for a while now, I was able to get all I needed to make sure that you never get away with it again. But what kind of evidence could you have? You've already made the choice to be fired by me, so nobody in the higher-up positions will listen to you. And I'm sure that evidence isn't anything anyway. Nobody has been fired or quit yet, so there's still lots of ears ready to listen. Ah, and did I tell you I spoke with those that you ended up firing before? They all gave me lots of juicy evidence when it comes to the things you did to them. What did you say? I can't believe I was able to get all this evidence on you because I'm sure with the way things were going between you and I, you would have really ruined the image of this company. So I've now come to the conclusion that the only way to end all of this within your department is to have you fired. Wait a minute, Luna. What do you mean, have me fired? I'm one of the big players within this company. I'm the one that puts in the effort for a lot of sales and everything that has to do with selling to customers. But you always ended up handing off your work to your subordinates, so perhaps they were the ones really making things work for the company. And all I've gathered as evidence, I'll bring to HR and have them think about you. And of course, I'll also be letting my dad know about this as well. I'll even make sure to ask him to have you let go of as soon as possible. You're lying, right? You know very well that all the things you've been doing within the company was not okay. So please, hurry up and start preparing your things in that office for when the time comes you have to leave. I'm sure that by next week the decision will be made. You can't just do this to me! Why do I have to be the one to leave this company? All I did was get rid of the subordinates that I couldn't use. Actually, if anything, it's because of them always making mistakes that I had to put in more work to correct them all. You should be thankful that I did all of that. You really are self-centered about everything. Even after being exposed like this, you're trying to make it seem as though you did the right thing all those times? I might have to show my brother all of this evidence as well later on. Huh? I'm assuming that this will all require you to step into my dad's office at some point to explain yourself, so enjoy that time with him one-on-one and say whatever reasons you'd like. That would be the perfect chance for you to ask if you can marry his son. I'm sure that would be your last chance to get closer to my brother. You think that I could talk about your brother like that now? Well, I'm going to get back to work now. I assume that I'll have a lot more work to do now that you've lost even more focus. And I still have a bunch of your work from this morning to finish. I was able to have a delicious lunch with my brother at least, so maybe that'll help me make less mistakes. And just after that, Ruth was called up to my dad's office where she was told to never come back to the office ever again. And when the company made their final decision the following week, she had to come back in and explain everything while she cried. But my father ended up telling me that after having to come in and explain herself to all the higher-ups, she burst out saying that I was the perfect subordinate. She then followed up by saying that she was so proud to be my boss and asked that they please let her continue her work with me. And of course, my father and everyone agreed with her, saying that I was the best. But then they continued to fire her, and she had to leave the offices for good. But that wasn't the end for her, as all those old employees she fired came back to fight her in court for firing them without reason. And so now, Ruth is having to go from hearing to hearing, paying one upset ex-subordinate after another for her mistake.
Hey, Janice. Have you been doing all right with your husband recently? You haven't been getting the cold shoulder or anything from your husband these days? Like when you try to talk to him, he just ignores you, or when you invite him out, he says no? You haven't noticed anything like that happening between the two of you lately? Why are you asking me all of this all of a sudden? It's very rare that I ever get a text or a call from you, Isabel. And having you ask about my husband is even stranger. Are you sure you're not confusing me with another woman named Janice or anything? I'm sorry, Janice. I don't think I know anyone else with the name Janice besides you. I just wanted to talk to you about something that I think might be bothering you lately. The reason that Jerry has been so cold to you lately is because of me. Right now, I'm going out with your husband. And all this started a couple of months ago, and we've been going strong together. Haven't you noticed that for the past few months, Jerry's been going on business trips a whole lot of more frequently? In reality, he's only been coming over to my place so that we can go out together. I'm sorry, I happened to get a hold of the man you love. But you should have known that I'd be coming back one day to get what you took from me. Wait a second, you're going out with Jerry? You and him are really dating now? I have no reason to be joking with you about this. The man you had been so happily married to is now in my hands. But that's bound to happen since you've always been in my shadow ever since the two of us were in school together. When I first heard that you had gotten married to a CEO, I really felt that. There's no way a man like that should be wasting away with a low-life scum like you. So I'm sorry to say this, but let me have your husband now. Huh? The spot you have next to your husband and that beautiful penthouse you live in with him are now mine. It's about time that I'm the one who won Jerry to my side. If you understand everything I've told you, I'd like it you got out from that penthouse right now. But him and I have been divorced for over 3 years now. Huh? Well, Jerry and I got divorced years ago. I never got around to letting everyone know about it or post it on social media, so I'd assume you never knew anything about this. Divorce? And 3 years ago? Yeah, surprise, I guess. Why are you telling me a bunch of bull crap right now? Do you think that telling me these crazy lies is gonna let me leave your husband alone? What? That wasn't a lie. Everything I said is very true. There's no way, Janice. I can see on that man that he has a wedding ring on his ring finger. Why would he still be wearing that if he was divorced? Come on, do you really think that I'm stupid enough to fall for your lies and will leave you alone? Please. I know all of this hurts to hear from me, but I'd never joke or lie to you about the man I love. I'm sorry, but I'll pass on believing you. You're wrong though, Isabel. I'm telling the truth when I say that him and I are no longer married. We divorced 3 years ago over some things that I'd like to sort of keep private. If you'd really like me to believe that you and him are no longer a thing, then show me by divorcing him right now. I'd like for him and I to get married really soon, so hurry up and get those divorce papers. When I've seen that you've signed the papers, then I'll trust everything you said. Hey Jerry, I heard that during the time we've been divorced, you've started going out with one of my good old friends from back in the day. I don't care who you choose to date now, that we're no longer a thing, but can you please make sure to explain everything to her before she comes to me spewing misinformation?
What? Since when did you learn that Isabel and I have started dating?
I got a few texts from Isabel about it. She seems to think that you and I are still married to each other. She told me that she's stolen you from me, so I have to divorce you now.
What?
She thinks that you and I are still married to one another, and that she's done a great job stealing you from me. I already know that she's a bit of a nut, but you have to do a better job at clearing things up when you talk to her. You and I divorced years ago, and you're still wearing the wedding ring. To her, she thinks that was a good enough piece of evidence to use as her reason for you and I still being together.
You're kidding me. What the heck? Isabel really went and started talking to you again? Well, I'm just glad that she started talking to you, which leaves me in the clear. If she started talking to my wife, I'd be in huge trouble.
Huh? What do you mean by your wife?
Now that I think about it, I never got around to telling you. I actually got remarried to another woman. I think her and I filled out the paperwork about a year after we got divorced.
Seriously? Then why are you going out with Isabel now?
If you just put a little thought into it, you'd probably get your answer. I'm only with Isabel for the ride.
Huh?
But if she were to seriously start talking to my real wife about her being with me, I'm so glad that she thinks that you and I are still married. It really helps me out a ton. Just thinking that she might have started to talk with my current wife, God, does it make me feel sick.
Jerry, you still haven't gotten over your urge to cheat? The whole reason you and I split was due to you cheating on me before. Now you're with another woman? And you're even cheating on her?
Well, it can't be helped, can it? I'm just the kind of man that's into these sort of relationships. I have the ability to literally get any woman to come my way. Even those within my company.
Huh?
But when it comes to someone like Isabel, she's far better than the rest. That's why I really enjoy using her as my toy right now, and I'm sure that Isabel has the same intentions with me. But perhaps I should start being more serious with her.
Don't say such awful things, Jerry. You have a wife right now, so I want you and Isabel to leave each other, please. I thought it was already enough having you sleeping with another woman while we were married, but for you to do it again to another woman again? You went through all the trouble of getting remarried, so you should take better care of her as your wife.
And I am taking great care of her, but the relationship I have with her and the one I have with Isabel are both very different. And besides, if I started to only focus on my wife and nobody else, what would all the other women that want to sleep with me think?
Huh?
Well, for the time being, I'm sorry that Isabel went and got you involved in this. I'll make sure from now on to tell Isabel about the reality of us two, okay?
The fact the whole reason you and I got divorced was due to you cheating, and yet here you are again, doing the same thing to your current wife. I'm just glad I got rid of you when I did.
You saying things like that must mean you still care a little bit about me, right? If that happens to be the case, do you want to try getting back together with me? I wouldn't mind having myself another wife to cheat on.
Don't start making fun of me, Jerry. Because of everything you did, the memories I have of you are all very depressing. So if I'm ever to get married to another man, I'll make sure he has no intentions of ever seeing another woman. I'd never once think about getting back together with a jerk like you.
But it was because you married a jerk like me that you were able to live in a penthouse with a huge CEO. Are you sure you're not missing the life you had with me? And that's why you want to get back together? You can't tell me the truth, Janice.
Excuse me?
If you'd like to get back together, you can message me anytime. Now, I'm heading out.
Starting today, I'll be living in the penthouse. I heard that you had no desire of leaving this place, and so you had to be tossed out. Huh? I was told by Jerry that you didn't even want to divorce him yet. So while you're still around, he said the two of us can't get married yet, but we can still live together. It's all because you just couldn't let go of him, and I now have to wait longer to be with my man. I'm just glad he was able to get you out of the penthouse. You're lying, right? Wait, are you telling me that you've seriously started moving into someone else's house already? Someone else's house? What the heck does that mean? Today, this place is going to become Jerry and my place to make love. I was actually a bit worried that it'd take him a long time to get me in, so I made a duplicate key for the place that I'll be using. What? So this means that you haven't even really talked to Jerry yet about going and staying in his penthouse? Well, when you put it that way, I suppose so, but I know that he'll be fine with it. After all, he loves me and wants to marry me as soon as he can. That's the kind of cute love the two of us share, unlike you. I don't think there's anything cute about your guys' love. What? The only thing that's not cute here is the fact that you still haven't divorced him even after being kicked out of the house. I keep telling you to hurry up and leave my man, yet you do nothing. I have no other choice but to toss all of your things out of here as well. Now that all your things are gone, there's nothing reminding him of you here, so you really do have nothing better to do than divorce him. You threw out all those things? I did. Every last thing is gone now. I was able to get someone to come here and take care of it all. I could definitely see that you had a lot of nice things since you've been the wifey of a wealthy CEO. I bet if I sold a lot of that online, I could have made thousands and thousands of all of it. All of your things were very luxury brand, so you must have had it all made out for you here. You're lying about all that, right? Doing that to someone else's things? But I told you that starting today, I'd be the one getting to live this luxurious life with Jerry, and so all of those things were technically mine. So this all means that you're never going to come back to this penthouse ever again, right? This'll be the place that Jerry and I can start making a family together. A woman that's no longer loved by him is only getting in the way now. Isabel, I want you to go out and get all of those things you just threw out. If you don't do any of that soon, I'm sure that his wife is going to call the police on you. Huh? His wife? That's you, right? Do you really think that it's a good idea to call the police on me over this? All I did was get rid of the little roadblock that was in my way of taking my seat next to my CEO. I never did one thing that was a crime. You went ahead and vandalized someone else's things. You took all her things and broke them down and threw them out, right? And the fact that the person that threw those all out is the person her husband is sleeping with. I don't think you'll be able to hide all of this from Jerry's wife now. Huh? Why do you keep saying his wife like she's not you? And I told you all of this before, right? Him and I have been divorced for 3 years now. And then after that, Jerry ended up getting married to another woman. And that penthouse is the place where Jerry and his current wife live. Huh? But that was the lie you made to try and get me to leave you alone, right? You really are divorced? We are. I wasn't able to deal with Jerry cheating on me anymore. And so the two of us got divorced. Actually, while we had been married to each other, he was sleeping with all kinds of women. I knew about that for a little while, but I just couldn't stand to be with him any longer and had the two of us divorce. What? But to hear that he got married, when I first heard that from him, I had to look into them myself, and he really did happen to get married to a very well-off lady. And I know you've heard of him, that's his penthouse and all, but I think that the two of you are going to be kicked out of there once his wife finds out. Huh? You're lying. This penthouse is Jerry's, right? And I never even knew that he ended up marrying a really wealthy woman. And when I learned about all of this, I was surprised as well. I never thought there would be anyone willing to marry the CEO of a company that was about to go bankrupt. And even crazier is that she actually has loads of money. What do you mean by his company going bankrupt? There's actually one other reason him and I got divorced. When I had first heard he was cheating on me, I really had no clue of who he was sleeping with behind my back. And at that time, I was already upset at just knowing that he was cheating on me, and that was enough for me to start thinking about divorce. However, it turned out that he was sleeping with other employees within his company, and soon they started to speak up about it. That's of course when I lost it and chose to leave him, because I just could not deal with his crap any longer. His company began to go downhill, and it was only a matter of time before he'd have to either leave the company or go down with the ship. So the two reasons I left Jerry were because of his cheating and the fact that I couldn't see him saving the company from the image he gave it. Huh? That's the whole reason I thought after our divorce that company and him would go under, but to learn that he'd get remarried and that his company would stand back up really shocked me. I'm sure that his current wife was willing to help his company out by handing him a large amount of money. Are you serious? Now I don't want to say anything more. So you should really go and get all his wife's things before she comes back. I really don't think that even in the case that Jerry got kicked out by his wife, he'd turn to you become his next woman anyway. He told me before that he only views you as a hit toy for pleasure. And since you're not the brightest woman in the world, I think he'll have no other choice but to toss you aside. Then there's no way he'd do something like that to me. He's told me so many times before that he loves me. He even told me that one day he wants to make me his new wife and everything. So why would he be saying that if he has another wife with a lot of more money than me sitting by his side? If he loves me as much as he says he does, then I should be the one he wants to marry, right? Well, then why don't you just prepare yourself and wait in that penthouse to see what all goes down? Then you'll be able to learn firsthand the truth behind of all this. But to be honest, I don't even know what will really happen, nor do I care. What am I gonna do, Janice? I was just told by Jerry that he wants me to leave him. I had been waiting all day for him to come home to here, right? But him and that wife of his walked through the door with their hands held tight, and they both looked like they were having a ton of fun together, him and I together right now, and yet he went out on a fun date with his wife? That can't happen. Whoa, so it seems he's having a better relationship with his own wife than with a toy. And then when I went up to him to ask him to marry me, he responded by saying that he wanted to know how an ugly woman like myself got into this house. And then he went and kicked me out of the house with the help of his wife. He then turned to her saying that I'm only one of his toys and that she was nothing to worry about. He didn't even make an eye contact with me as he told his wife that. So that must go to the show that Jerry really does love his wife more than you, huh? And then his wife told me that I would need to pay her a settlement as well as repay her for all the things I threw out. That all comes out to be $200,000 and she wants it paid in cash. $200,000 paid in cash? That's quite a large amount of money, huh? Right? There's no way this could ever happen, right? But then his wife told me that if I couldn't hand over the money right then, she'd call the police on me. And that's when Jerry said he doesn't care what she does about me. Well, I mean, when you looked online, you saw that a lot of those branded items all went for thousands of dollars, right? And you went ahead and vandalized and technically stole all of that and more. And when it comes to the settlement she's asking for, I'd assume she wants a lot of money from you for cheating. But that much? I don't have that kind of money, especially not in cash. Hey, Janice, what should I do here? You should be willing to help me since I'm your friend. No way. I don't even want to deal with you. Huh? I know that all this turned out to be a huge misunderstanding for you, but you thought You knew that he was my husband and still started going out with him anyway, right? You pretty much said it yourself. You stole my husband from me, right? Do you really think I want to help someone that's done that? I get that and all, but this all turned out to be a misunderstanding, right? And so I never actually stole anything from you, so you should be fine with helping me. I really am asking you right now to please help me. If you're looking for someone to help you pay off that money, why not ask Jerry to help you? After all, he's the man that got you into all this mess, right? And now I'm going to leave. I have nothing to do with your guys' drama, so please, don't drag me into this any further. What?
Why is this happening to me? It's all because of your friend that my life is coming to an end. My wife is asking for me to divorce her, and then she wants to kick me out of this place. And now she's not even going to be around to help me with my company anymore. Why the hell is this happening to someone like me?
Ah, I see. So you're also going through some tough stuff now. Well, no matter what you tell me, I have nothing to do with you guys.
Huh? But this is all because of that friend of yours. Yet you are still trying to say that you have nothing to do with this.
Before you start saying that she's a friend of mine, remember that you are the one that started sleeping with her. You knew about her being my friend, yet you still did it anyway. So stop trying to blame this on me, when I haven't even been around for you 3 years from now.
Shut the hell up! You keep saying it like I care about her, but all she was to me was a toy. Yet, she thought she had the right to sneak into my penthouse like that. It's all because of her that my life has turned upside down.
Don't try to act like you're not to blame for all of this. You have a wife with you and yet you still decided to go out with another woman. And of course, it turned out that your wife was the one helping keep your company out of going bankrupt. Yet even with all the help you got from her, you decided it would be fantastic to start cheating again. It's funny that you weren't ever embarrassed to admit all of that to me.
Shut the frick up!
Do you think this is all okay for a CEO to do? You said after all those women around you, you want to play with you, right? But having all of them around you was due to your wife being so generous and loving towards you, right? Yet, you thought it was all because of you that you had a selection of women to choose from, and that's why you started cheating again. That's really something to be ashamed of, you whore.
Did you not hear me when I said for you to shut up? I'm not going to forgive you for calling me out like this.
Oh my, you're starting to scare me now. Well, if you don't want me calling you out and making fun of you, maybe try putting your phone down and quit texting me. I mean, if you have the time to sit here and blame everyone but yourself, then why not use that time to try and fix your company? You're going to lose your wife's financial support, so your company will sink for sure.
Crap. Unlike you, I thought that my wife would be understanding of everything. Yet now she's trying to take me down for only having a little fun with some other women. I really thought that because of all the money she has, I'd be able to get away with all of this and never have her find any of this out. Yet she's now threatening me with divorce after your friend decided to break into our house.
So you only married her for the money and to keep things hidden again? Seems you really need to learn your place, and the only way that will happen is that if you learn through pain and suffering. I'm sure there's something I could do about this.
Huh? What? What do you plan to do?
Do you know what kind of connection there is to my friend being the same person you ended up cheating with? I think I can tell your wife all sorts of things about the two of you now.
What? Wait. Please, don't do something that you're going to regret. If she finds out even more things about me being with Isabel while married to her and the past we had together, I'll literally be in hell.
And it's because you went and did all this crap that I think I'll have to talk to her. Now I have someone I need to talk to, so I'll be going. Isabel tried her best getting down on her hands and knees to try and apologize to Jerry's wife, but she didn't budge one bit and continued to ask her for that money. So then, Isabel went and sold a bunch of her own things, as well as borrowed some money from a loan shark to get enough to pay Jerry's wife in cash. And now, because of the terrible debt she's gotten herself into, she's working all day and all night to make any money she can. And as for Jerry himself, he did end up getting told by his wife to leave her. And in the divorce, she'd also be asking for a settlement from him too. And to help make sure she was successful in all this, I helped her out by sending her all the information I knew about Jerry and Isabel, and she was able to gather enough evidence from that. There were also some messages between Jerry and Isabel regarding his wife, like him calling her a wealthy idiot, and that he only needed her for his company, which of course all led to her asking for a very large amount of money from him as well. So to pay off the money he owed his now ex-wife, Jerry was forced to close his company and sell whatever he could to afford to pay off the settlement. And now that he's met his true fate of losing his company and all his money, he's now working the night shift as a male escort, trying to relive the life of having women asking him to be around.
Taylor, is it really true that John's condition has gotten even worse now? I heard that things have only gotten worse, so I needed to make sure that it was true. He has gotten worse. This weekend he had to be taken into the ICU for his health. But right now he's doing a lot better again and has been moved back into his room to be looked after. As of right now, he's even able to have small conversations again. What? He was able to make a comeback from that? Huh? I'm really happy to see he's made a comeback. Same here. But it's going to be some time before there's any hope of him getting out of here. Do you think you have any time this weekend to come in and see him? He would like to see all of his grandkids. I'm sure that would make my dad really happy seeing you all, and it might even make him recover even more quickly. I don't want to go see him. Hospitals have this smell to them that makes me feel sick, so it's not going to happen. What? Also, for people like him being that sick, they tend to get really thin because they can't eat as much anymore, and that's just scary to me. If I were to show the kids their grandpa while he's in that state, they might be traumatized for the rest of their life. So that's what this is about. Then how about just you and your husband come to see John this weekend? Just come in for a few minutes to see and talk to him, and that should be enough. Even the doctor is saying that would be really good for John to see some of his family soon. No way am I going there. I hate going to the hospital, and Greg is really busy with his job right now. We don't have the time or want to go and see John at the hospital right now. Are you sure? Also, there's the whole thing with his health getting even worse recently, so perhaps it's time we start preparing for the worst. Do you have any idea where John's bank information and checkbook might be? Do you know how much money he's ready to be given away as inheritance? And do you know how much he has in terms of stocks right now? What? He's going to be kicking the can pretty soon here, so it's best we start preparing for his inheritance to come through. I'm sure he's totally fine just having you at the hospital watching over him, so you can continue doing that if you want. I'll manage everything that has to do with his money and properties, all right? Don't say something so messed up as that, Brinley. What do you mean he's going to be kicking the can soon anyway? Right now, your father-in-law is trying his best to fight through this sickness. He is going to make it through this and come back home to see everyone really soon. So would you quit talking about how he's going to die like that? I understand how you want to feel about all of this, I really do. But I think it's best that we prepare for the worst, just in case. We wouldn't want to be wasting our time later on with all this when we'll want to be focused on mourning him, right? You stop all that right now. There's no point in dealing with any of his money right now anyway, right? You're too busy to come and see him in the hospital, so you must be too busy to deal with any of that right now. So leave all of this talk about his inheritance be. Greg, where are you right now? I have been telling you to come to the hospital as quickly as you can. Your dad has finally gotten out of this hospital, but as soon as we got him home, he collapsed again.
Do you have any idea what time it is? I get that it's an emergency for you, but come on, it's 3 a.m. for me. Once I've gotten my beauty sleep, I'll come to the hospital. I'm sure it's just the same old thing with him anyway, and he'll be around for me still when I get up. Once things are all handled over there and I'm awake from my sleep, I'll be over there.
I'm not messing around right now, Greg. You get your butt in here right now and see your dad. He is not doing well at all, and his breathing is getting really shallow. I think this might be it for him.
What?
So please hurry up and get to the hospital. This is not the time for you to be sleeping, all right? This might just be your last chance to ever talk to your dad again.
Are you kidding me? In other words, this means my time has come as well.
Excuse me?
Nothing, Mum. Don't worry about it. I'll be on my way to the hospital right now. I'm going out to the car right now, so just wait for me a little longer.
Hey, Brinley? What the heck do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing kicking me out of there like that? The funeral is going to be starting really soon, you know? Hurry up and let me back into the building right now. I'm sorry, Taylor. There is a lot of appeal in this funeral for your son and I, so can you please just shut up and go home? Greg and I are going to be handling everything from now on, so you can go back home and mourn your husband in silence. Also, you happen to be in our way today, so please just get lost. I'm in the way? What the hell are you and Greg planning to do today with me not at my husband's funeral? I understand that Greg is the oldest of my kids, but he does not get to make the rules like that. Especially when he has no idea who all is going to be there for the funeral today. I'm sure he has an idea of what to expect, so don't worry about him. What? And what is this about today having a big appeal to the both of you? Do you both not understand that today is the funeral of my husband? Your guys' father? And I'm saying that because of that, today will have a lot of appeal to it. The CEO of the company has passed away, so now it's time for his oldest son, Greg, to take the reins and run the company. In other words, today is the day for him to make a name for himself. Huh? Of course, there will be plenty of other family members here today, but there's also going to be all sorts of bigwigs from all kinds of companies here to mourn your husband. So this is Greg's chance to make himself look good to all of them and secure his future as the next CEO. And standing next to him today will be me, the CEO's wife. I'm so glad on a day like today, both Greg and I went to the salon before this and got ourselves looking all sharp and ready for what we have to show off today. So this is what you've both been waiting for all along? You both even went to the salon together before this and got your hair done and everything? Would you please cut the crap right now, Brinley? The point of this funeral is to mourn the loss of my husband. It is not a place for you and Greg to be showing off and trying to make yourselves look good for the business. I have no idea what's gotten into the both of you thinking this funeral is meant to be a place where you need to appeal to all of those other company men. And the fact that Greg said it's his time as well now? Please do not ruin my husband's funeral like this just for your guys' selfish desires. The only person here that needs to cut the crap is you, Taylor. Your husband just died on us, and the next person in power is going to be your oldest son, Greg. Do you really think it's okay for you to be talking to the most powerful man in this family's wife like that right now? Huh? I totally understand that you still have a lot of emotions flowing through you as your husband only just passed away. But could you please pull yourself back to reality for me? After your husband's gone, it's the oldest son's turn. And since that's just happened, you are no longer the queen of the family. All you are now is some powerless old woman that we could honestly do better off without. Excuse me? I'm sure the only reason you have all that confidence in yourself right now is due to the power that your husband gave you. But those days are over for you now, so please give it up and let us take the wheel. Your days of being the ruler in the family and telling me what to do have died along with your husband's days of being the CEO. And since when have I been telling you what to do, Brinley? Huh? Tell me when you haven't been. How about that? Telling me to come see your husband as he was dying, even though I don't care for him, and telling me to bring my kids along to see him, even though his sickly body would have scared the crap out of them. Seriously, every time you tried telling me to do things, it really pissed me off. It's a waste of time to go out and see some old geezer that's about to die. Why would I ever want to do that? Did you really think that by having Greg and I there to talk to him and see him with you, he'd start to recover from whatever BS sickness he had? What the hell do you think you're saying right now? What do I think I'm saying? Well, I'll tell you. But not with words. You'll just have to wait and see, because right now I can't handle you in that attitude anymore. The funeral's about to start soon as well, so I don't have time to waste on you. I know we were just getting to the good stuff, but that'll have to wait. I'm finally going to be the wife of a CEO, and I can't believe just how much I am smiling at a funeral. What? The wife of a CEO? That's right. Remember that since now your husband is dead, he's going to be leaving a lot of money behind for us. So we're going to be taking all of that money and everything, as well as taking over the company he's left for Greg. I thought that was pretty clear to you already, though. But anyway, once he's the CEO, I'm going to be the CEO's wife, right? Did you know that ever since I was a little girl, I had always wanted to be the wife to some super wealthy CEO? So now that my dream is finally coming true for me, I just can't stop myself from smiling. I think I've had enough of you both. Especially you, though, Brinley. Kicking me out of the funeral and then taking it over as though it's meant to be about you both. And not just that, but now you think you have access to all my husband's money and his company, which has led you to grin like some maniac? You really are such a shameless woman. Well now, I'm going to have to hide this smile for the time being and put on a more serious and saddened face to trick the masses. It would be pretty wrong for me to be smiling at a funeral of all places, right? Well, you've been pretty messed up this whole time, so why hide it at all? I'm trying to text Greg right now, but he seems to be ignoring me. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling that all this isn't going to play out in your guys' favor, though. Now, I'd like you to leave the premises at once and head back home with your mouth shut for us. The CEO of the company has struck out, and the next up to bat is his oldest son. And me being his wife means that I'll become the wife of a CEO. Greg isn't even a part of the company. What? Yet you still believe that he's going to be able to get into the company and become the CEO of it right away? You must be so excited about becoming the wife of a CEO that you totally forgot about common sense. I'm sorry, but the next CEO of the company has already been decided. And of course, since Greg hasn't been working for the company at all, he is not going to be the CEO. If you understand that now, I want you to open the door for me and let me back inside. What do you mean he's not been working for the company? Greg has told me that ever since he graduated from college, he's been working for his dad's company. And when was it that he told you that? It's been 3 years now since Greg was fired from his dad's company. Huh? He was fired? Yep. He was awful at all of the work he was left to do, and that really started to piss his dad off a lot. Of course, when he got fired, it was during a time where he was supposed to be taking care of a really important customer to the company. But he cried about having to do all that work and bolted from his responsibilities. That then pushed his dad over the edge, and he said he was no longer going to deal with Greg anymore. Although my husband's first thoughts were to make Greg the next CEO someday, those thoughts quickly disappeared, and the next thing he knew, he was firing Greg. What? Wait. I never heard anything about all those events. Also, Greg has been going to work like nothing's changed forever now. Perhaps right after being fired, he was able to find some other company that hired him. I'm not sure where he could be working now, but Greg is your guys' oldest son, right? And that means he should be the next in line to take on the company from your husband. Nope. John has made it very clear to everyone at the company that the next person to be the CEO will be his son, Marcus, Greg's little brother. John told everyone that he couldn't trust his oldest son with taking on the company, so he'd be letting his second oldest handle everything next. Huh? He's letting Marcus be the next CEO? And he told that to everyone in the company already? He even wrote that down in his will. What? You were the one that told me to start thinking about all of that while my husband was still in the hospital, right? About things like his inheritance and properties? I took that as meaning I did need to get on top of some of those things, so I went and started talking to John about everything he would be leaving behind. Also, when he was out of the hospital for a day, he got one of his lawyers to come over and we wrote a new will. And you're telling me that part of the will says for Marcus to take over the company next? Unlike his dad, Marcus is a very calm and composed man. But even so, he happens to be very good at doing business and has the proof to show for it. Even other employees within my husband's company say great things about how well he does his work. For a little while, he had only been working with his dad after Greg got fired, of course, and started learning what it means to lead a company. So this was always going to happen. Marcus becoming the next CEO. But just to make sure there'd be no hiccups, we wrote it down in John's will. You're lying. There's no way. The next CEO should be the oldest. And Greg is the oldest son to John. I've never even heard of an instance where the oldest was skipped and the next in line was given the company. Well, John had no other choice. His oldest was far less competent at his job than he had thought. Huh? I'm so happy that today Marcus wasn't able to make it to the funeral. I'm sure he feels bad about having to be in New York for a business trip and all right now, but at least he doesn't have to be here when his stupid older brother and moron sister-in-law are right now. I'm sure if he was, then things would only become more messy for him. There's no way this is happening. Even Greg was saying that his time had come to me. He was so freaking excited to be the next CEO of his dad's company. Well, I can go tell him the truth right now for you, so please let me inside the building. And honestly, I'm not going to worry too much about you both believing in a fairy tale because I want to focus on my husband's funeral. Everyone else is patiently waiting for the funeral to begin, so please let me in right now. Wait. Who cares about the funeral right now? Greg and I are far more important at the moment. This is about my dream, after all. Right now, that dream is in danger of never coming true for me. So this is not the time for people to be worried about someone who's already dead. Well, if that seems to be the case for you, then I want you to go home right now. I'm not holding back anymore. I am going to the front of the building right now, and I'll let the funeral director know that you no longer should be allowed in this funeral. Actually, I'll let them know that both you and my oldest son are not allowed in here. Then you both can be escorted out by them.
Mum, what is all this about? Why am I not allowed to become the next CEO? It's not too late to make me the CEO yet. Tell that Marcus to let me be the CEO right now.
That Marcus happens to be the man your dad chose to make the CEO. He said so in his will. So I'm not going to just ask Marcus to give up the role his late father asked him to be in.
The frickin' will? Who cares what Dad said? He's dead now. Why can't you just let me be the CEO? It's not like he'll ever know that I was made the CEO, right?
What are you talking about, Greg? I will not allow you to talk about your dad and his final words like that.
But what's going on here is stupid. I get that Dad fired me from the company in the past, but I just assumed that after Dad died, you'd be willing to let me back into his company. I've believed this whole time that you would understand that the role of CEO should be going to the oldest son next. You're screwed up, Mum.
I'm not the one that's screwed up. It's you and your wife that are. What the hell happened to telling your wife that you were fired 3 years ago? Why were you trying to hide all of that from her?
I wasn't trying to hide anything from her. I just got lucky and made the money we needed from some slot machines.
Slot machines? In other words, you gambled for the money you needed? Hold it right there. So you're telling me that you didn't even end up getting hired by another company after being fired? What the hell have you been doing ever since your dad fired you?
I gave up on working and have been making all the money I need from slot machines. I've been on a massive winning streak for a while now, so I brought in more than enough money to support both myself and Bryn Lee.
You are a dad, Greg. You have children. And yet you're telling me that this whole time you've been risking your whole family's future on some slot machines? What the hell have you been thinking?
I thought that after Dad died, I'd be able to get back to work for his company. Hell, I thought I'd be back in his company long before he died. I thought me trying to act all sad and depressed around him would get him to hire me back because he felt bad. Yet for the past few years, he never talked to me, so I never had a chance to lie to him about how I was feeling. This year he decided to get sick. It's not my fault that I had to continue gambling while Dad was fooling around by not ever talking to me and then getting deathly ill.
For Christ's sake.
Yet now I have to sit here listening to you telling me that Marcus is getting the company. If that's how things are going to be, then who cares about that stupid company? Just give me the dang money he's left for me, and I'll shut up about everything. I'll make sure to use all the money I'm getting to continue my winning streak at the casino. Did you know that I've started to go into debt waiting for Dad to get back to me about letting me work for him again? I've had to take out loans in order to keep playing the slots. If I don't start breaking even here, things are going to become really bad for me.
You've been taking out loans now?
I'm sure that Dad has loads of money in his savings that will be coming to me, right? Yeah, half will be going to you, of course, but the other half will be for his sons. But Marcus is going to be getting the company, so you can give my part and his to me. He's not going to need any of that money, right? So give me the money, and while you're at it, give me whatever stocks he has as well, right?
Greg, I have some very bad news for you. Your dad doesn't actually have all that much money left after he passed away.
Huh? What the hell are you saying, Mum? There's no way he doesn't have tons of money still. He was the one that built that company and has been the CEO of it for over 40 years. You both happen to have that massive house, and he has multiple other properties. And what about all those high-end cars he drives? How the hell are you able to tell me he doesn't have much of anything when he's got all of that?
I'm sure you knew about how your dad ran his company all by himself, right? And of course he has a lot of land and some pretty nice cars that he drove around a lot when he was younger. But over time he's been putting all those things into his company, and now the cars and land are considered company assets. He left me with enough money to keep me happy, but the rest has all been put into the company and is not included in the will.
Huh? Then, what's going to happen with all the money I owe? I thought Dad would have hundreds of thousands to give to me after he died. I just assumed that I'd be able to pay off all the loans after he died and be able to play more slots without going into any more debt. I thought this would be it for me, and I'd never have to worry about going into debt or having to work a job again.
You can think about what you need to do next by yourself. If you can't find a way to help your family by yourself, then you open up to Brinley about the whole truth and have her help you. And as for that debt, well, you were the one that got yourself into that mess, so you're going to have to try something in order to pay it all off. I might be getting a lot of money from your dad, but it's only enough to keep myself happy through my later years. I have something I really need to ask from you, Taylor. Can you please make Greg the CEO of the company? I'm sure that everyone within that company, as well as all the customers, want him to be the next CEO. I know for a fact if you don't make the oldest son the next CEO, then you'll be making the whole company look bad. Well, listen to this, Brinley. All of the employees within the company, as well as all the other businesses that are customers to it, have asked for Marcus to be the CEO. He's already been around all of them for years now, and every single person trusts that Marcus can get the job done right. But there is one very important problem with Marcus. He isn't even married yet, so what's going to happen to the company after he's passed away or retires? That's why, right now, you need to take this moment and make Greg the CEO of that company before it's too late. Huh? You're worried about what happens to the company after Marcus? I'm sure that Marcus might be good at the work he does, but he doesn't have a woman, and it seems like he never will. As far as I'm aware, he's never even had a girlfriend before, right? So there's no hope for him ever getting married now. And that means he's never going to have any kids who will be around to take on the company after him. But when it comes to your oldest son and his wife, they happen to have a really, really cute little boy, right? If you make Greg the CEO of the company right now, then there's hope that the company will continue on in this family's history. So you're trying to use your own son as a way of getting the company? Well, Brinley, did you know that you have no voice in telling Marcus who he can and can't choose as the next CEO of the company? He doesn't have to give it to anyone in the family next. He has every right to pass it on to one of his best employees, or he might even want to sell the company to someone else. So, nobody, not myself, nor you, nor Greg, has any right telling him what to do with the company when he retires. I probably won't even be around by that point, so there's nothing I can do about it. No way! I've heard about the debt your husband is in right now. I understand that you and him are trying to do everything you can to get any money left by my husband, but you need to give up. Don't tell us to give up like that! It's not as simple as you might think. Right now, our lives are on the line. Right now, Greg is in debt $30,000 to loan sharks. Really? That much? You have to do something to help us pay all of it off. This is your son's debt we're talking about. Also, I happen to be suffering a lot because of it, so as my mother-in-law, you need to help me, please. You shut the hell up right now, you complaining witch. You are both frickin' adults now with children and need to learn how to take responsibility for yourselves. I don't give a crap about that guy's debt, and I never will. Also, he happens to be your husband, so do your dang job and support him through this tough time. Back when my husband was building his company, he got into $100,000 worth of loans, and we worked together to pay all that off. So you can handle $30,000, you baby. You might have been able to handle all that, but I can't. I might be his wife, but I just can't. Then go ahead and divorce the sad loser. It's your frickin' life after all, so you decide what you want with it. Now that's it from me. I can sympathize with all the crap you're going through right now, but you have to take responsibility for it and handle it. But wait, Taylor. Are you going to leave the both of us? Aren't you going to help us out at least a little? You know dang well I'm leaving you both. I hate you guys with every bit of my heart. What? You tried to kick me out of my husband's funeral. You then went around smiling about the fact that you could use his funeral to make yourselves look good. I don't plan on ever forgiving either one of you for something as cruel as that. Yet now you're asking for my help? Absolutely not. No, wait, Taylor, that was, No, I'm going now. I don't hold any of this against my little grandkids you've given to me, but you and Greg deserve to receive all of my hate. So I really hope that you two can figure something out, for their sakes. And after that, those two idiots went to Marcus begging for him to help them on their hands and knees while they both sobbed and sobbed. So, being the kind and reserved man that he is, Marcus went and brought them into one of the factories he started to run. At first, both Greg and Brinley weren't given a very good wage or much time off from work, and they complained about it a lot. Greg would even take it up to the factory's manager at times and say that he was the brother of the CEO and deserved better. To which the manager would reply saying that the CEO gave him permission to fire those two at any time he wanted. After saying that, Greg never once complained about the job again, and both he and Brinley have continued their work in that factory. According to some rumors, that manager actually went to school with Brinley, where she would bully him all the time. So who's to say for sure what kind of hell he's putting her through right now there? Well, as for the time being, those two idiots are going to be sweating their butts off for years to come, trying to make whatever money they can in order to pay off Greg's debt.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.